I never imagined that a leap of faith into a stranger's arms would lead to a millionaire's love. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The air was thick with urgency. My heart raced, pounding against my chest like thunder. 1 minute, I was navigating life in my tiny apartment, barely scraping by. The next, I was teetering on the edge of a life-altering decision. It was a swirling, chaotic night. The neon lights outside danced like fireflies, enticing and dangerous. I stepped into the crowded bar, overwhelmed by laughter and warmth. Everything felt surreal. I was just trying to forget the mounting bills, the loneliness that wrapped around me like a suffocating blanket. I needed an escape. Then, I saw him, a tall figure in a tailored suit, standing with an air of confidence that made my heart skip. His dark hair gleamed under the low lights, his eyes intense, as if they could see right through me. I felt a pull, an electricity between us that was impossible to ignore. My breath hitched. Did he feel it too? Suddenly, the floor tilted. Someone bumped into me, and before I knew it, I was stumbling forward, right into his arms. Time froze. The warmth enveloped me. I could hear my shallow breaths, the ambient noise fading away. His grip was firm, yet gentle. My eyes locked onto his, and I saw a flicker of surprise meld into intrigue. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice deep, resonating like music. My cheeks burned. I nodded, feeling the world rush back in. Laughter, chatter, clinking glasses. But I was lost in those eyes, as if a secret universe lay behind them, waiting to be discovered. There was an inexplicable chemistry. My apprehension faded, replaced by a wild hope. Who was he? What was his story? As he leaned in closer, I could smell the mint on his breath and the subtle hint of his cologne. My heart raced faster, a drum echoing through the chaotic symphony around us. "Let me buy you a drink," he offered, a playful smile dancing on his lips. I should have hesitated. A stranger could be anyone, dangerous, unpredictable. But I was ready to take the risk. I nodded, my heart pounding with excitement and fear. I didn't know it then, but that small agreement would spiral into something beyond my wildest dreams. The air crackled between us as we talked. He hinted at his wealth, but it felt like a backdrop. I craved to know who he truly was. The more he shared, the more mysterious he became. Secrets lurked just beneath the surface, tantalizing and out of reach. But then, just as suddenly, his phone buzzed forcefully on the table. He glanced at it, and his demeanor shifted. Was it bad news? A frown crossed his face, shadows creeping into his bright smile. My heart sank. What could possibly trouble him? Was I just a momentary distraction? "Excuse me, I need to take this," he said, stepping away, leaving me alone in a sea of laughter and noise, anxiety gnawing at my insides. I felt the weight of the moment. His absence was palpable. The thrill started to fade. I held my breath, glancing at the door. Would he come back? Or was this the end before it ever truly began? Hey! Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon, and while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The minutes stretched into eternities as I sat at the table, feeling more alone than I had moments before. The laughter around me faded into an incomprehensible hum as I stared at the empty space where he had just been. My heart had skipped a beat, but now it felt like it was plummeting into a chasm of uncertainty. What was he doing? Who was calling him that could snatch him away so abruptly? I picked up my drink, hoping it might offer some comfort, but it was tasteless against the backdrop of my growing anxiety. Beneath my bravado, self-doubt seeped in like a stubborn leak. Was I foolish to think we could have something real? Where had I thought this reckless abandon could lead? Just as despair threatened to pull me under, I caught a glimpse of him through the crowd. He was on the phone, his brows knitted together in concern, eyes scanning the room. I couldn't make out his words, but I could see the tension in his posture, a stark contrast to the enticing confidence he had just exuded moments earlier. Something was wrong, and I felt a burden of helplessness settle over me. He ended the call abruptly and headed back toward me, but the spark that had ignited when we first connected had dimmed, replaced by a heavy cloud of unease hanging between us. I forced an encouraging smile as he took his seat. "Everything okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual, but the tremble in my voice betrayed me. He ran a hand through his hair, his expression distant. "Yeah, just some family stuff I need to take care of," he replied, but his tone was clipped, as if he was holding back. My heart twisted painfully at the thought of family troubles, of burdens that could separate him from me before we even had a chance. "I am sorry," I said gently. "Is there anything I can do?" He shook his head, a small, appreciative smile briefly alighting his features. "Just hold on for a bit. I really want to enjoy this." But I could see the tension etched around his eyes. It was a flicker of vulnerability that made me ache to know him better, to comfort him, to steady him against whatever storm was brewing behind that handsome facade. With every sip of my drink, the worry marinating in my mind seemed to ferment into something darker, more potent. The thought of losing him before I had truly found him gnawed relentlessly at my insides. What if our connection was merely a fleeting spark, a momentary escape from the weight of our realities? In an effort to pivot the conversation, I shared a funny story about an embarrassing moment at a previous Jobin overzealous printer that had malfunctioned right before a big presentation.